So you got Penn or Columbia?
Oh, I can't. It's tough. I love both places because of players we've had from there, but we'll see how it goes. But we've put a lot of focus into that this week.
You know,
How so? What's it been like?
It's not. I just the banter back and
Yeah.
forth and the politicking by those two has been a kind of a little funny side thing that's gone on around here. So no, I hope both teams play really well and have a great series.
you know,
Have you
just
heard anything from Coach Elko on that matter?
No, I heard he might have to chime in on the Penn front. So I'm surprised Schott hasn't reached out to him.
just all fun and jokes aside, just how important is it for your team to maybe have as clean a mind as you can going into a place that, whether you guys carry emotions or not, there will be emotions from fans at least in that ballpark.
Yeah, I think that part of it's great for the fans, the emotional part, and I'm sure there's just like when football's around, you got relatives. One's a Longhorn, one's an Aggie, and that's all great. That's cool for college baseball. It's cool for the series, but for us, it's just an emotionless game. Honestly, we're just gonna go play our game and just like we have on the road before, take care of business. Same routine, same practice today, same thing we've always done. I mean, really no different. I mean, it's just we've put ourselves in a situation for weeks where we've needed to win, and we always want to win, and we're going to continue to do what we've been doing, no matter who we're playing.
How long or not long ago did it feel like the press conference in Austin was, and how much of a different world does it feel like since then?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was a long time ago, really long time ago. So I haven't really thought much about it until you just said it. So yeah, I mean, all that is behind not only me, and I've completely. I feel like I'm a same person, but definitely grown in a lot of different ways. Since the summer and since in the last few years. So same thing with our players. Like all that is kind of it had its time, it had its media cycle. I'm sure for you guys, those kind of things pop back up for us, but all of us have moved past it a really long time ago.
Have you talked with Jim since you left for here?
Yeah, maybe once or twice. He texted me the first game of the year and told me good luck. Other than that, I have not talked to him since then.
What's your kind of scout on them, and what are you looking for your guys to do heading into that series?
Yeah, I mean, they're a really good team. Really good team. They got some really good arms. They got some offensively. They got some guys that I think are major leaguers. I feel like I'm, a broken record, but just your typical SEC team that when you play, you're not going to be more talented than. You just have to play better baseball. So they just got, they do a lot of things really, really well on the mound and a lot of things really well in the box. I had some guys, they got some good players, man, like some really good players throughout that lineup. It's going to be tough, but it's the same. It's the same song and dance in SEC weekend. It's just a different opponent in a different place.
You say this is kind of an emotionless game for you guys, but just knowing the ties that so many players have to both programs, the coaching staffs. I mean, how do you mentally prepare your guys for that and going in, making sure that it is kind of emotionless and that you're not trying too hard when
Yeah, I think the good part. I mean, it's a fair point. I think the good part for us is we've had to battle that emotion a lot, just through where we put ourselves and where we feel like we're heading. I think a lot of it starts with me. I think it starts with also the leaders on our team, and I know how we feel. Like I could care less about who the coach is over there, or who the coach is at Arkansas or at Tennessee or at USC. I mean, it really matters nothing to me, and I know it matters nothing to, I would say, majority of our guys, to all of them. I mean, it really is. We have a plan. We have a vision. We have all those things of where we want to go, and this is just a part of our journey, and it really is nothing more than that to me or to them.
You mentioned both Tennessee and Arkansas, and having gone on the road and had success in those ballparks. You've been at Dishwalk Field before. How does that environment compare to those two you've seen this year, and what lessons did you learn on the road you're going to have to take with you this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great environment when we play there, right? I mean, it's and we travel really well there too, so it's always been really cool. I enjoy like the hostile environment. Like when you go on the road and it's just kind of whatever, it's just different, and I personally enjoy it. Like I like when their crowd gets loud and we get out of it, and I definitely like when their crowd's not making any noise at all. So yeah, it's going to be a really tough environment, just like all of them have been in the SEC, and I don't think there's any team that's more battle tested than us. I think that's a for sure thing. So now that's all in the past and doesn't matter, but we got to learn from our experiences and take that same heart rate into their stadium.
Something that I've noticed is that Wyatt, when he's in the dugout, he likes to sit or stand, I should say, right on that step right behind you. Is there any rhyme or reason to that? Have you noticed?
He likes to talk, and he likes to talk the game, and I think it's just his personality and how he plays, and a guy that I hope is one of my assistant coaches one day. Like he's that type of mindset and player, and he's just always constantly into the game, and he does that when I've taken him out of the game. It's just kind of part of his process, and he's locked into every single pitch.
Has he done that every single game so far this season?
I believe so. He's always right there. I love talking to him. He's always got good things to say, and he'll bounce things off me about himself when he feels like it's appropriate. He's also caught himself a few times like, oh, all right, hold on, I'll get you in a second. But yeah, he's just into the game. He's a coach on the field. He's a leader, and he knows as much about what we need to do as I do, and that's what you want out of your leaders of your team.
What's just the balance too, I guess, in a dugout with a coach and a player talking? Because I mean, I'm sure some coaches, they like to be just locked in, zeroed in, and then some coaches maybe don't mind the chatter.
Yeah, whatever we're talking about, it pertains to the game, so it's kind of the flow of it and kind of play. And when guys they want to talk to me about their swings and stuff, but they have really good feel, like they know I'm doing multiple things out there, and I feel like personally do a really good job of I can multitask and put on a sign, this, that, talk to a guy about his swing, move on to the next pitch, and just kind of give little tidbits. I'm not doing anything crazy. Like it's if you heard some of the stuff I tell hitters, you'd be like, that's it? Like it's just really, really simple information, and I just repeat myself over and over again, and a lot of them need to hear it and want to hear it.
How satisfying is it that your lineup is now having parts, if you divide it in thirds maybe, or and individuals, that you're getting contributions all throughout the lineup, and that it might be a day where somebody's not having a good day, but it's being picked up elsewhere down the lineup, and you're not just sitting there focused on 2 or 3.
Yeah, you're not waiting, right? Yeah, it's great. I mean, it makes it easier to run an offense and to be able to do certain things, especially when you get a lead, and that's what you want. You want a 1 through 9 relentless order with no breaks. You're going to have outs, but you want your outs not to be breaks. You want all your outs to be productive outs, and I think we've gotten more consistent at that. I still think we can get better in certain areas, but yeah, it's definitely feels good when you feel like, all right, we don't need to get through so we can flip it back to here. Like all those guys have done a really good job, and they've all kind of had a moment, so they should have confidence in their ability. And I think not only is there, you can be confident, but you gotta clean some things up. So I think as they've cleaned some things up in the batter's box, they've grown confidence, and that's the way you want it to roll out.
How much is JK kind of a leveling force in this series too? Because he's about the only one on either coaching staff that doesn't have necessarily like a immediate tie maybe to either one.
Yeah, I mean, JK's always a leveling force. That's kind of him and Caleb kind of do that really, really well for me, and I definitely need it because I'd say I definitely run on hot a little bit during the games, and they're great for me. So he hasn't need to level just because, like I said before, like I have no care about who coaches on the other team. I mean, I want to beat them because I want to beat everyone, and I want to beat them because it's a freaking huge game. So other than that, it's nothing major, no outside talks about it.
You said it's a huge game. With kind of what you guys have been able to do these past couple of weeks and the momentum you have, I mean, how big is a series like this, another number 1 team that you're playing to, with the season winding down?
Yeah, no, it's good, and we need, with where we put ourselves, is when you looked at our schedule at the beginning of the year, you're like, everyone's like, man, that's tough, right? Like April's tough. And it was always going to be tough. And for us, in this month, and it's, this is another part of it, we had a choice to make, right? And for us, it was a good thing with where we're at because we knew if we could take care of business, it's going to put us in a good spot. But you always want to win. You always want to play. So it's just, it'd be cool. It'd be cool to go into another tough environment against the number 1 ranked team in the country, the best team in the country, and see what we can do against them. Like, we played against some other good teams, but, this team is probably the best out of all of them.
Is your starting rotation keep kind of the same?
Yes, same rotation.
What have you seen from Ryan, particularly the last week or so? How do you feel like he continues to progress?
I think he's definitely gotten better. He's not where he wants to be completely or where we want him to be because where he is completely, it's it's shutting guys down. Like, that's just his mindset. But if you, Jace, tough player, he hit the homer over the fence with his glove, and then, if that play's made in left field on Davalon, and then Eloy doesn't hit a 2-run homer, who knows what he does? I think it's a completely different outing, but I think what he did against an Arkansas lineup, which is one of the best I've ever seen during game one, and gave us a chance, stayed in the game and gave us a chance to win. Like, I thought that was a quality start in an SEC game, because it's all relative, I think, to the opponent you face, and I think he did an outstanding job against a tough lineup.
You think there's one where there's just limitations on KU in the outfield?
To an extent, yeah, depending on matchup. It's just, you got to make sure. And I think how it's played out a little bit for us, it's given us the luxury of kind of slowly working back in there, get him in there game one. But we'll see how it goes. I always see how he feels on a day-to-day basis. So this isn't just like a progression timeline thing. It really is, how do you feel today? How do you feel today? And filtering out what he says compared to like kind of what we think, because Sorrell would have played 5 weeks ago if I let him, but I didn't want him to hurt himself. So day to day, and sometimes hour and a half before the game, just depending. He's in a really, really good spot, but again, and I've said it, his value can't be overstated, and we got to keep that guy out there. But the other part too is, like, if you remember, like, that guy's a really good outfielder. Like, he's an elite defender in the outfield. So it is, we want to get him back out there as much as possible, and I think you will see it more as we move forward.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.